Can you share some unique aspects of the Emirates Palace, Mandarin Oriental, that set it apart from other luxury hotels in Abu Dhabi?
Erika, that's a very difficult question. And difficult because luxury is luxury. It just gets interpreted in so many different ways. The Emirates Palace, by default, is probably one of the largest hotels in the world, probably one of the most expensive hotels in the world. But that is quite stereotypical. We are special because we are on a journey. We are on a journey to go from an icon that has been already amazing, previous operator, and the transformation to be something that is even more meaningful than it was before. So our effort is, how do we make luxury tangible in a hotel that already is so luxurious? And the answer boils down people, people and culture. And I think that essentially is what makes luxury true luxury and a true luxury experience. Money can buy a bed, money can buy a design, money cannot buy you the right people with the right attitude and the right behavior.
I really believe that this is true, definitely after my stay here, because I was very surprised by the way in which people don't take for granted what they are doing here, and they really try to make you happy, and they listen to you. And this is what I felt here during these 3 days.
That makes my day. I can go to bed today and say, we are achieving our mission. But it's true. I think to me, luxury is often something non-tangible. And you mentioned the word feel, but it takes on the other side a person that equally is interested and has the same feeling and wants to share and evoke these moments. And that is a very precious thing. And I struggle with this across the world. You have amazing businesses that do it well, and you have others who claim to do it well, but still are on the way to get there.
So thank you for
Thank you.
the 3 days here. Amazing. Managing a prestigious hotel requires attention to detail.
Yeah.
What challenges do you face in maintaining the high standards of the Emirates Palace Mandarin Oriental?
Erika, standards for me, for us, are about consistency, because whatever you do and whatever you declare is a standard and a standardized way of working, of engaging, in my opinion, has got 4 components. And they're ending up with one resource, and this is people. So first of all, you need to make sure, if I give the example of food, for instance, and of gastronomy and whatever goes in here, it's just wonderful. So the choice of the most suitable product, the skill of the person that transforms a raw ingredient with their technical skill into the third stage, which is the transformed delight that you then wish to eat. And the fourth element is to make sure the expectation of the guest is met by what you've created. So this, I think, are the biggest challenges in luxury industry, are the expectation of the market that you set yourself to a large degree, by brand, by who you want to be and how you want to be seen, but then to make sure every day you can deliver to meet this expectation. Nothing is as bad as inconsistency.
As a GM, what role do you play in fostering a positive work environment for the hotel staff, and how does this contribute to overall guest satisfaction?
The question already has these 2 complete interlinked elements. I truly believe, and it's a platitude, but I truly believe that happy colleagues create happy guests. So actually my job is relatively easy if one was to build this connection. My role is to make sure our colleagues are focused, are trained well, are motivated, are engaged, and are able to display themselves within the context of the culture that we wish to be and the brand we wish to represent. So that requires a lot of skill, adaptability, and all the stuff that makes a professional a professional. But once that recipe of success is found, it is scalable. Scalable with regards to every individual is different within their own framework and uses their framework to be individual. But I think this is the biggest opportunity that automatically, if I may say, automatically leads to guest satisfaction. because everything the team does or each individual does is to create that satisfied and delight moment for a guest. And we started saying in our initial conversation, it's that instantaneous reward that pays more than money. And it's on that emotional level that when guests and colleagues can look into their eyes and have a conversation on eye level without being submissive in service, but they are there to serve, I think that makes a distinct difference. And that is a challenge as well as a great opportunity. And once the recipe is found, and I'm proud to say we have probably one of the highest motivated staff in the whole of the UAE, because we compare our results with others. We have probably one of the highest, if not the highest, guest satisfaction in the UAE. And now my role is only to maintain it consistently.
I didn't have the chance to meet all the people that work here, for sure.
1066.
Exactly, but I had the chance to spend some time with Luigi,
Yeah.
the chef of Talea Restaurant. And what surprised me a lot was the freedom he has to create and to use his creativity. And this made me realize how really important is to create this kind of environment inside of a hotel.
It must be, and I'm glad you say that. It must be. If you had Leonardo da Vinci painting the Mona Lisa, and you would look as maybe his patron to pay him for that, you would not take a brush and change the painting of a genius. So the same way as Luigi in Talea, he is there because he's got the spirit, he's got the talent, he's got the personality. No, it's not my role to mess with that. Let him do what he is doing best, and let other people do what they do best.
This is the kind of leadership I like.
Me too, because it gives me much less work. I trust others, and they are trusted.
Good job.
Thank you.
How did the transition from Emirates Palace to Emirates Palace Mandarin Oriental unfold? And what were the key elements focused on during this transition?
How many hours have we got to talk about that, Erika?
I would love to stay here with you 5 hours just to listen about all this transition, but we have...
Yeah. No, I understand. I will try to condense a period of, I would say, 3 years into a few sentences, which is not easy. The magic word is transition. So we should never forget that this hotel is an icon, is already a legacy in its own right. When Mandarin Oriental had the opportunity to take over on the 1st of January 2020, this enormous hotel, place, landmark, nobody knew that we are entering into COVID, which made us all change the way we've worked, we've lived, we've operated everywhere in the world. So we transited in 3 years and used the best of what COVID could propose us. And these are elements of a renovation. We started our renovation. It was planned. It was coincidental. Commercially, we were unsuccessful like every other hospitality industry in the world. But we used the downside of COVID to provide our people the necessary training and engagement with a renovated product and our fixated mind to rebranding of what we want to be. So the opportunities were, how were we seen in the market before as the Emirates Palace? And there is a clear linkage to government, because we are the home of governmental guests. But that is not enough to justify people to come. It could actually be a reason not to come. So the thought process here we deployed is, within the brand framework of Mandarin Oriental, how do we take this hotel and take advantage of this hotel, what it is? To me, when I arrived here the first time, it shouted out resort, it shouted out beach, it shouted out parks, it shouted out restaurant diversity. But nobody ever talked about the word resort. So we were bold enough to say, no, we are a palace by default, but we really want to be a resort. And everything we've done since then, we leaned to become, I think, what we are today, one of the best resorts in the world. And not only do I think that, but I know that we've been awarded many many accolades of this type, and the latest has been, we've been nominated in the Condé Nast Editor's Choice, the best resort in the Middle East. So we are on the right path. But more importantly, that rebranding and that repositioning, rebranding to Mandarin Oriental, repositioning to a resort, needs to be understood in the hearts and minds of first our staff. So from 600 colleagues in COVID, we had the opportunity to employ what I think is the most diverse and inclusive colleagues culture. We are the United Nations of hospitality industry, 77 different nationalities working here. And we've increased our gender mix by 10%, so we are aiming at what life is about, 50-50. We are not there yet fully, but the opportunity to employ talented colleagues from all over the world, as diverse as our customers are, with the same vision in mind, with the pride to work for Mandarin Oriental, was the pivotal moment to take this hotel into its transition. And believe me, we are not there yet. There's still work to do, there are still elements to be added, but it will one day come into fruition when we probably think about redoing some initial stuff again. The work never stops.
How was the challenge of preserving the historical and cultural significance of Emirates Palace, managed while infusing the distinct Mandarin Oriental brand essence?
The challenge was on various levels. Number one, I think, if I remember back 3 years ago, it was the right brief to the right chosen designers. Because you can easily put a coat of paint on something and it's looking new. We don't want it to look new, we want it to be authentic. So we had to define the authenticity of the palace. And because of our pink marble and the granite everywhere and the chandeliers and the gold on the ceilings, this was not something that we wanted to give up. What we wanted to do is to add another layer of making it relevant today. Gold was seen 20 years in hospitality as luxurious. Today it's maybe seen as opulent and maybe not anymore so relevant. An example of that is we created our cafe concept in the lobby called episodes. Episodes because you have various episodes of experiences that you can take. But the most distinguished features are we've taken these, I would say, Japanese cherry blossom pink trees in that are at guests' eye level. So what we've given to the designer is we said we want to create a feminine environment because we want to appeal to our female customer base largely, but we don't want them to look up. We want them to look into the space, and therefore their eyes are meeting chandeliers that are new, glittering glass and light bulbs, these cherry blossom trees, and suddenly it transformed the entire, I would say, a bit sterile, opulent, large structure, and we became tangible, we became relevant. So design brief or understanding your sense of place, briefing the designer, following through the execution of the design, and then make sure your service sequence, your confidence, and your offering is absolutely in line what you wanted to create. That was probably the biggest opportunity that we have had in the rebranding. You mentioned Luigi. He's a wonderful chef. The Emirates Palace always have had an Italian restaurant. We asked ourselves, Italian food is already the most liked food across the globe. It's not difficult to be liked when you cook Italian. But here it's not about like, here it's about standing out. So we built with Luigi's help and his, I would say, his godfather, Antonio Guida, who runs the Talea Restaurant and our sister Talea Milano and has 2 stars. So we created that concept and we said, with Luigi at the helm, we want to do Italian cuisine not only in a nice design but relevant to this hotel, and our theme was Cucina di Famiglia. We are a resort, we don't want to be, we don't look at prestigious dishes, we look at being honest, of being sincere, yet done in incredible style. So Luigi created that concept, and again, everything is about that concept and the transformation. And the market, astoundingly, we never dreamt about it, 12 months after the restaurant opened, gave us a star in the Michelin. in the Michelin guide. So what this is rewarding to Luigi and us as a team is we create the thought, we give ourselves the freedom to do something, we use the sense of place and we amplify it and we make it very special. And I think this were the opportunities and challenges that come out of a transition.
Can you share specific changes made to enhance the guest experience and align it with the Mandarin Oriental brand's renowned level of luxury and service?
Yeah. Wow. That's a big part. So I think globally we all work within a framework of standard operating procedures, and we have this is where Mandarin Oriental has its reputation from, our easternly influenced, I would say, charming service, our way of delighting our customers with humility. That is what Mandarin is about. So what we needed to do is, how do we translate this into some tangibles that the customers know can take away as experiences? If I move away from the experience of a room, but maybe even staying here, we have a vegan room in which we are sitting. That is an experience our colleagues have created. We have conceptualized, and probably we are a world first in the industry. But also, the experiences we create are from beekeeping in the hotel. Beekeeping not only to be the home of 75 queens that have all their laborers around them, but we are making tours for children. We dress them up as beekeepers. We let them understand the world of beekeeping. We are using the honey, 1.5 tons each year. We are using the honey to cook. We are using the honey to gift it to our guests. We are using the honey to sell it in our cake shop. And the kids, of course, when they please their parents with the experiences that they are to share, the family loves it in a holiday. We have our own organic garden. So when I said earlier there is a dependency on consistent service delivery, and one challenge is procurement, we said when we opened Talea, we want to make our own vegetable. We want to grow our own vegetable. We want to grow our own herbs. Now in the Middle East, we can only do that for half a year in the year. The rest is a bit too hot. But at least during this half year, again, children can see how it's done. They can help us harvest our fruits, our dates. It gets used in our restaurants, and we can proudly say this is organic, homegrown vegetable. I think many chefs say it's all homegrown and it's organic, and so, but we make it tangible because you can literally pick your micro carrot or you chip your chili in the garden. And these are small things we do where I believe experiences are brought to life in a branded context to serve as a memory for families to take home. And I would love that when you go home and you, on one grim, snowy, cold winter day, reflect about your travels, your memory will take you to the Emirates Palace, Mandarin Oriental in Abu Dhabi, and you would have the desire to return. And that is our ultimate goal. To have guests once is great. To make them come back is even better.
And I can say that the basil here is amazing. I asked Luigi, so the basil comes from Sicily, Italy? No, from my vegetable garden. Your vegetable garden? Yes. In the sand? Yes. Okay, I want to see it. And it's true. Miraculous. Last question.
Yes.
So we are in a special room,
Yeah.
the vegan room.
Yeah.
Can you share insights into the design and amenities that make these rooms stand out for guests seeking a plant-based and sustainable lifestyle during their stay at Mandarin Oriental Emirates Palace?
Yeah, thank you. Erica, that's really, I think it's a very relevant question because it touches on, and we just have COP28 here in Dubai, and all the heads of states discussing the future sustainability and the climate change. Now, our thought process came from very humble beginnings. And we said, when we created and crafted new menus for the hotel for our guests, we said, what about vegans? And of course, today veganism and any other form of variation of dietary requirements is very common. And we said, why do we limit vegan and plant-based lifestyle only to eating? Primarily, we are a hotel with 390 rooms and suites. So we were developing that thought and say, if I'm a vegan who does not wish to come in contact with animal products. I wear special shoes. I do all of this. Why would I then walk over a very expensive but lamb wool carpet? Why would I want to be in a room where there is carpet everywhere? And the hotel says, look at our wonderful carpet. And all you want to do is not look at it. So we said, no, we believe there's an opportunity. So we gave to our designers the challenge of physically building a room that has not only vegan lifestyle in context, the parquet floor, all furniture is non-animal skin, this is all faux leather, this is all fabric that is tested and treated in a way that is completely in line with veganism. But that's only one thing. That was the easy part. The difficult part was to find linen. That's a mix of copra and viscoses produced by one company in the world. It's so soft. Our minibar items, all vegan. Everything you have is tested and tried. Our bathroom amenities. So everything is in line. The produce you see here, all vegan. Our in-room dining menu, all vegan. And do you know one of the most surprising questions I had from a family who had one member of the family vegan and the other one not, and she wanted to book this room, and the question she asked me is, Michael, can my husband have a burger when I'm eating dinner? And I said, of course you can have in your room whatever you want. We just provide the framework, but the choice of what you consume and what you want is totally up to you. And the last discovery we had along the way is this room automatically doubles up as a hypoallergenic room because we don't use animal feathers. We have special HEPA filters in our air conditioning system. So people that do not even live a vegan lifestyle or don't want it, but have maybe respiratory system challenges, welcome. As we say, ahlan wa sahlan. We've got the product, wonderful rooms, great view, healthy and lifestyle.
Consistency and coherence.
Again.
I was joking. Just one question. Last question.
Okay.
One happy thought.
That the sun in our colleague's heart is always shining, because we know it's shining outside, but it needs to shine from within. And this is what we do every day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Erika, thank you.
Such an amazing interview.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I hope it was meaningful.
Yes, definitely yes. I
But-
learned so much, so
But
thank you.
No, thank you. But it's also good for you. You know, you've stayed here. You just don't come in and make this interview. And I hope that what we do and what we say is relevant and is having legs to stand on. We don't want to pretend. And when you have a luxury hotel, by default, people think it's pretentious. And the most difficult thing is, I don't know, to stay simple, to stay humble, to stay normal.